Good morning, Susan and John. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to Sun and Moon's daily 10 a.m. yoga. I'm Anaïs, coming to you from a new space today and new Wi-Fi, so hopefully all is working. If there are any issues, you can just refresh, and normally it boots right back up, but hopefully everything will go smoothly today. So as usual, let's get started in a seated position for some centering. For this practice, you'll need a blanket, and I always recommend just having some blocks handy as well. So go ahead and take a comfortable seat on your blanket. Today, we're gonna take things really easy and really ease into the body. So do as much as you need to, use as many props as you need to get comfortable. So for here, get a blanket, maybe even a couple blocks to prop yourself up nicely. Check that the hips are level with the knees or even a little bit higher. That will help you feel nice and stable throughout the spine and help ground down a little bit better. So once you're seated and you're comfortable, you can soften your gaze or you can close your eyes altogether. And just begin to tune into the breath. Welcoming a little more breath with each inhale. With each exhale, allowing the body to release down deeper into the mat. And begin also to notice any sensations on the outside of the body. So perhaps where hands and feet or even any limbs are uncovered, feel the sensation of the air touching the skin. Or perhaps the sensation of the clothes touching your skin. Today's practice will exercise a lot of subtle awareness. So really training ourselves to notice all those subtle sensations and messages that are available to us as we begin to tune in and listen. So noticing here sensations such as air, cloth, noticing the weight and the texture. Does it feel soft? Is anything prickly? What is the quality of whatever it is that is making contact with your skin? Just notice, perhaps more fully this time, instead of just noticing the clothing on your legs and the air on your arms as a whole. What is the sensation on the outside of the body as you sit here? Can you bring all of those little tidbits of information into your awareness all at once? Welcoming them into your awareness with a non-judgmental quality. That means even if there's some discomfort, allowing it to be without labeling it good or bad. And then I'd like you to begin turning your awareness to the inside of the body. Starting with the breath. Acknowledging that the body is the part of us that lives in the present moment, that anchor that helps tether the mind to the present moment, as long as we keep checking in with it. So check in here. Notice if any thoughts are coming into your consciousness and just allow them to float back out. If you find the thoughts continuing to creep in, you can pause and just ask them to listen for a moment. Listening for any sensations inside the body. Perhaps a particular part of the body will draw your awareness towards it, and you can settle your awareness there. Or if nothing is coming to you, nothing is standing out, you can stick with the breath. Just noticing the sensation inside the body as the lungs expand and contract. And we're going to bring that awareness of the inside of the body together with the outside. So can you feel the arms and legs from the inside out? Can you feel the weight of the bones on the inside of the body at the same time as your awareness of the air making contact with your skin? Any sensations on the inside of the legs. And at the same time, the contact that the skin of the legs makes with your clothing or the air. And allow your awareness to rest here fully for just a few more breaths. Experiencing the full energy of that inner awareness. Right at the boundary where it meets that awareness with the outer body, with the outer environment. And what does that feel like? Does it help you feel more grounded, more present in the body, more connected with the body, perhaps? If not, that's okay. Just noticing what it feels like to sit with full awareness from the inside out. And then slowly we'll bring our awareness back to the environment. You can lift your gaze, begin to open your eyes and receive the room around you. Receiving any light, any air as it makes contact with the eyeballs now. And let this be a moment of arrival into our practice. So today's theme is inside out yoga, which we experienced a little bit of just now. And so the goal of today's practice, which is one of my favorite parts of yoga, is coming home to the body. So if we think of, maybe you've heard of this analogy before, of the body as a home. And perhaps just like the home that your body lives in, you haven't visited every room, or some of the dust has settled in some of these rooms. Some rooms are not very often visited, or perhaps they're a little neglected, and that's all right. But this practice begins to help us reconnect with these different parts, different rooms inside the body, if you will. So we might have our routine of visiting certain rooms and not so much others. And so as we practice more and more this inner awareness, this awareness from inside out, we can begin to reconnect with all those parts and hopefully eventually bring all of those together to make them feel really whole, really sturdy in that way. So keep that in mind as we practice today. I should also point out that this might feel a little foreign. Some of the cues that I'll give you, you might say, oh, I don't know what that feels like, or I can't do it, and that's perfectly fine. So just remember to be compassionate with yourself, be curious. So noticing if something is hard to access, just allow it to be part of the practice. It's just something that you're getting used to. And then don't forget to have fun, of course. This is all meant to be lighthearted and as organic as possible. So don't take it too seriously. All right, so we're going to start on our backs today. So go ahead and come onto your back. You can move any props out of the way. You can keep your knees bent. And then once you come down, go ahead and hug the knees in towards the chest and rock from side to side, warming up the spine, maybe even feeling the juices starting to flow in the hips, in the leg sockets. Easy side to side movements here. All right, and then place both feet down on the ground, keeping the knees bent. We're going to do here some mini cat-cows. So essentially, as we're doing in our normal cat-cows, we use the breath to move the spine up and down. So in this case, what we're going to do is we're going to concentrate on certain areas of the spine, beginning with that area just behind or between the shoulder blades. All right, so shifting your awareness there for a moment. Begin to breathe in. Notice what sorts of shapes are being made as a result of that breath coming into the chest. Letting the spine in that area rise up towards the sky, inviting a little bit of back bend even. As you exhale, let the spine release down, maybe even feeling that contact of that place in the spine between the shoulder blades with your mat. Again, this is really subtle. So even if it's just bringing your awareness with your breath, inhale, letting those couple vertebrae right there lift up towards the sky. As you see, my shoulders aren't coming up off the ground. My chest is rising with the breath and then falling again. But I'm not making any other movements other than just breathing and noticing that space between the shoulder blades rise and fall. So tune into the subtlety of that movement. You may feel nothing at all, and that's completely fine. But see if you can rest your awareness there nonetheless. Maybe you start to feel a little more connection with that place in the spine. All right, let's do one more in and out breath here. And then release. We're going to shift our awareness now to the back of the rib cage, sort of mid-spine here. And same thing here, as you inhale, resting your awareness in that part of the spine. Let the spine lift up with the in-breath. And fall back down to meet your mat on the exhale. really subtle again. Perhaps you're not feeling anything, and that's okay. Just bringing the awareness and practicing that awareness will help us to tune into those parts. Perhaps feeling the back of the ribs hit the mat on the exhale as the spine rolls back down towards the mat. Just noticing all those little features as we breathe in and out, where we're making contact with the mat, where we're introducing subtle movements, where we're making big leaps in creating awareness, perhaps new awareness in parts of the body that we just haven't visited quite often enough. One more breath here. Release that down. Then we're going to shift our awareness now to the pelvis, the sacrum, that base of the spine. And this may feel a little more obvious. So as you inhale, the pelvis rolls forward. As you exhale, it rolls back so that the sacrum, the base of the spine, meets the mat. Inhale again, rolling forward. Spine may shift down the mat. Exhale, releasing the sacrum back down to the mat. Couple more times here. Notice if this feels any easier or perhaps any harder than the last two movements we did. All right, one more time. And pause there as you release down. We're going to bring those three movements together now with some easy bridge lifts. So plant the feet firmly down into the mat. Let your shoulders roll back, pressing down into the mat as well. And press through the feet to lift your hips up towards the sky. Inhale, float up. Exhale, beginning from the upper spine, behind the shoulder blades, roll the spine, vertebra by vertebra, back down to the mat. Right, hips come down very last. And then hips come back up first on an inhale. Inhale, rolling up. Exhale, rolling down. A couple more times. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, notice as the vertebra make contact with the mat as you roll down. Maybe this is getting a little easier. Maybe not, that's fine. One more time. Inhale, lift the hips. Exhale, roll back down, vertebra by vertebra. Lovely. Okay, pause there. You're going to extend your right leg straight on the ground and point the toes as you lift your leg up towards the sky. Inhale, nice deep breath here. Exhale, as you push through the heel, flex the foot to bring it back down. Let's do that a couple times. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, flex to release back down. Floating back up on an inhale. Exhale, release back down. point the toe to lift back up. And just notice how the leg floats through the air. Does it feel easy? Does it feel heavy? Perhaps as you tune into the bones a bit more, you notice the weight of the leg. And maybe as you tune into the muscle, it feels a little lighter as you float up and down. So just noticing the leg in space as it moves through the air. One more time, coming back up. All right, and then keep the leg where it is as it comes up. Let the knee be soft and just pull it in towards you for a little bit of a hamstring stretch here. Breathe in. Breathe out. And then bend the knee. Grab hold of the sole of the foot and let your knee drop down towards the mat, coming into a half happy baby here. You can even rock side to side a bit. And then bend the knee again, bring it in towards you. Just make a couple circles in one direction and then the opposite direction. And then release your leg back down with care. This time, keeping the right knee bent. Extend the left leg straight on the ground. Inhale, point the toes as you lift the leg up towards the sky. Exhale, push through the heel to flex the foot and release back down. Inhale, point the foot, lift up. And exhale, release back down. Couple more times here. Noticing any differences between right and left sides. Maybe the left leg glides through space a little more easily. Maybe not. And noticing again any sensations on the outside of the leg. As you move through space, you move through air. And on the inside, the bones, the muscles that are helping you do this work. One more time, point the toes, lift the leg up towards the sky. And then interlace the fingers behind your leg, pull it in towards you. Nice little stretch here in the back of the leg. Breathe in and breathe out. And then bend the knee so that you can grab hold of the sole of the foot. Let the knee drop down towards your mat to come into half happy baby. And then rock yourself side to side. And then bend the knee completely, hug it in towards you and make a couple circles in one direction. And then the opposite direction. And release that foot back down. Hug both knees into your chest one more time. And this time, instead of rocking side to side, we're going to rock forward and back, eventually coming to a seated position. So take as many forward and back rocks as you need to come up. Eventually coming to a cross-legged position. And then rolling onto hands and knees for table pose. All right, from here, shift the hips over to the right side. Look over your left shoulder. Nice deep breaths here into the right side, all the way from the hip through the neck. And then shift the hips over to the left side. Look over your right shoulder. And back to center. Come on down to forearms here. And then take your right leg straight back behind you. And press back through the heel for a little bit of a calf stretch. And then bring the right knee back in. Extend the left leg back out. Press back through the heel. Inhale. And exhale, bring that knee back down. All right, this time straightening both legs, coming into a forearm plank. One breath here, and then release everything down. Staying on the forearms for Sphinx. All right, a couple head rolls in one direction. And then the opposite direction. And then release that. Just let your head hang for a moment. And release your forehead down to the mat. Slide your hands down the mat a tiny bit. Bend the knees, cross the ankles, and press yourself up to straight arms. All right, release back down, pressing down with care. Uncross the ankles. Reach back for your right leg as your left leg extends down on the mat. A little quad stretch here. Bring that foot in towards you. Breathing into the right side. And then release your arm back down. Bend both knees again. Cross the ankles and press up. Press back down. Uncross the ankles. Straighten the right leg this time. Bring the left foot in towards you. And release your hand down. Bend your knees. Cross the ankles. Press up. And press back down. Uncross the ankles. This time reaching back with both arms. Grab hold of the feet. And from here, you're going to press the feet into the hands as you lift up. So let that lift you up. Nice deep breath here and release back down. Let your arms rest. Bring your right ear down to the mat. And cross the ankles. Press yourself back up. Press back down. Uncross the ankles. One more time here. Reach back for both feet. Press both feet into the hands to lift up. Nice deep breath here. And release. Let the arms rest and bring the left ear down to the mat. Now bring your head back to center. Grab hold of both feet. You're going to rock from side to side. So this may feel a little funny at first. Just have fun with it. If you've ever seen like a full water bottle rolling across the table, rolling across the floor, you see how the water settles and shifts from side to side. So you can imagine that you are that water body, and the water helps you move side to side. Maybe even coming to rest on one side. Eventually make your way back to center. Release everything down. And press yourself back up to hands and knees. All right, from here, we're going to come into a wide-legged child's pose. So bring the knees to the outside edges of your mat. Let the heels come together. And rest your forehead down on the mat as you extend your arms forward. Take a couple breaths here to let the benefits of our practice settle and really integrate. And perhaps visit those same places that we visited earlier in the spine, maybe even the bones of the legs or the arms. See if you can tune into those places and notice how they're feeling. If they have anything to say, if they are feeling anything. And then shifting your awareness back to the outside of the body. Noticing again the air as it makes contact with your hands, the soles of the feet. Noticing the texture of the mat on the tops of your feet and the palms of your hands. Noticing all the other places that the body makes contact with the mat. Eventually, press yourself back up to a seated position. And then come into any easy seat, cross-legged, or whatever feels most comfortable to you. We'll end practice with an easy breath. Inhale, letting the air fill every place in the body. Exhale, releasing, allowing us to make contact with our mat and everything around us so that we can live fully present and fully embodied in this day. I hope you guys enjoyed practice. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I hope to see you guys again next week. Thank you.